Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Laura Schifrin, and I will call the meeting of the Volunteer Board Coordination Committee to order at 4:05 p.m. Roll call, please.
Harrison Mayotte, present.
Laura Schifrin, present. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank all of our veterans, both here and abroad.
Pardon me, I'm late.
Okay. You want to announce yourself?
James Duran, present.
Thank you. All of our emergency response people here in town, all the elected and appointed officials that serve our community and their families. The meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. Is anyone else recording? Hearing none. Harrison, did you have a remark you want to make?
Yeah, I have a motion to table some items, given the length of today's meeting is going to be a bit abbreviated. The first, I'll make the motion to table review of the meeting minutes for October 7th, 2025 under 4A, review of scripts for standard votes, which is 4E, and all of item 5.
And all of 5.
It's on the back side. Which is 5 is all of the old business stuff from prior discussions.
So this is because we don't have enough time, or we?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have enough time. I don't know if we have all
Some of the materials aren't here. Since I knew in advance that the meeting, we're going to have to end about 4:50 p.m. today. So that we should have plenty to talk about with A through D of part 4.
I have one concern.
Yep.
And that is, I thought we were finishing up with the volunteer form today, and that would be the backside of the form for the elected and appointed positions.
Correct, and I deprioritized that, and actually I have, for good reason, under the ethics discussion, we'll talk about what we prioritized in lieu of finalizing that today. There's that's section 4C. So we had reprioritized that in the clerk's office to accomplish some of what the concern that Veronica had brought up was regarding. So we don't have that today, but that.
So in other words, we're not going to be able to streamline
but the ethics training enforcement, I thought that was just the process of letting the chair people know or department heads know that the training had been completed.
So that's part of it, but there's more to it than that. I don't want to go too far ahead, but the point being, though, I mean, the front side of that form was already finalized. It was the back side with the reorganization of just what that list was.
In other words, who's paid, who's not paid.
Yeah,
what
so
that
reorganization hasn't been done yet.
Okay, easy enough.
So as far as the motion on the floor, though, there's no second currently.
I'll second the motion.
And we've had discussion. Is there any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. Roll call vote to table.
Harrison Mayotte, aye.
James Tron, yes.
Laura Schifrin, aye. Okay then, 4.A.
On these minutes for October 3rd, I have a friendly amendment that I didn't realize before getting this together for you today, which has to do with at the top listing members present, absent, and others present. So on the screen, I've shown what that change would look like. Just adding in the section at the top as had been done for a few other agendas.
Okay. Nobody else.
So did we have others present at that meeting?
Says none.
No, we had no others present at this particular meeting.
So in other
And I
words, where it
actually didn't
says
look at the
other,
meeting, so I don't know.
others present,
If
Says
you'd rather,
none.
if you'd rather hold it to double check on that, that's certainly fine. We have, 3 meetings or 30 days to finalize minutes after a meeting occurs, so
Yeah.
we're within that time period. We've got
21.
9 more days,
right, okay.
or, 12 more days, so we've got some time.
Okay,
So whatever you prefer, I can make a motion to table this one or hold this one to the side if you'd like.
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, so
Okay, so
we'll just
I'll,
address both of them at the next meeting.
yeah, so I'll make a motion to table the, October 3rd meeting minutes, until the next meeting.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I
So
think,
what,
I think
next
when you
meeting
make,
is going to be what?
I don't think we've decided the date yet for that.
We'll leave it open, table then, yeah.
I think it was decided that when you make a motion, you state your name, when you do the second, you state your name, and when you vote, you state your name and your vote.
All right,
Okay,
Harrison Mayor, I'll make a motion to table the October 3rd meeting minutes, before us until the next meeting.
okay, James Brian, second.
Okay? Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Harrison Mayor, aye.
James Brian, yes.
And Laura Schiffern, aye.
Okay.
Okay, so we table the
Thank
minutes.
you.
All right, so the first 2 items under, sorry, I apologize for jumping ahead for 4.B.
Go ahead.
So the 2 packets you have here, you have one that at the front says onboarding documents for project volunteers and one for volunteer board and committee members. There are some slight differences between the 2 packets, and I know we're primarily focused on board and committee members. I thought both were relevant though, because some of the committees are, given that they're more project or task force, particular, the 2 packets may be relevant. So I didn't know if we wanted to kind of flip through the 2 of them. They're both fairly short.
Which
and
first?
Go through. The project volunteer is a shorter one, and we'll see. There's an application included. There's Corey authorization, which may not apply to board and committee members.
Be more specific as to what you mean by there may be quarry
Well,
for
there.
volunteer.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know that applies. So that's
Okay,
I'm not intimately familiar with the laws as it relates to quarries. I don't think we're in the current practice of quarrying every volunteer in town.
I hadn't heard of it
Yeah, so
even being done out in 20 years now, so.
right, so
You, Laura?
we,
No, there are positions where you have to have a query check done.
Correct.
but do we know if any of the volunteers are, or that's something, I mean, we can certainly check into that, whether it should
Once
be
again,
included.
I'd
in
like to know
the
what the
meaning
common
of
practice is.
position
Okay,
is.
I'll
Yeah.
research
What
into that
is
and
the
get feedback.
position, what would warrant it from the position?
I personally am in favor of them. I wouldn't eliminate people who have been convicted of a felon. I think it's important that we have that, so I think it depends on who, what position. I know police do.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the other practices are. I know to be a constable.
yeah,
you
so
have to have a
I'll
query
see
check.
if we can get feedback from HR about what that looks like and,
Okay.
I
as
think
far as
she's right,
quarries.
certain positions in the town,
Mhm.
chief,
Yeah,
of authority. They
yeah,
absolutely would need to be quarry checked. We
Mhm.
are in reference of
volunteer.
volunteers.
Yeah, and so that's where, I'll check with Callie and see what the current practice has been. There may be particular volunteer positions where that query is required. Like, I don't know if Recreation Commission, because there are children involved with those programs,
Would it
maybe they
not
get queried.
Reflected,
I think that would be a good idea.
So that's something we can look
wouldn't
at.
wouldn't it indicate
We did have a
in
situation
previous
this
language?
year, so
Mhm.
I think it's very important. First thing that strikes me, because these are both for volunteers.
Yeah.
Why do we have the symbol for equal opportunity employer?
I'm
No
not
one's being
sure.
paid.
I think there could be discrimination-related laws that apply even for non-compensated municipal positions
Oh,
that
let's find that.
fall under that law. So I'll check in on that as well.
Because this does say non-elected, non-compensated project volunteer. And
And
then,
having looked at the other packets, it may just be the standard heading that was applied to all of them. So it could be something where that logo could come off the corner and the rest is fine.
it's not on the, I mean, that logo's there, but the.
That's what
the
you're concerned with
statement-
the EEO logo? Being
Only because
on
you're
it.
not you're not an
Well, it
employer.
states right there, non-elected,
Yeah.
non-compensated.
Well,
This one,
here's the thing,
but not this
and
one.
I wonder if the reason why it was included, because volunteers and board and committee members, they are considered employees for certain other laws, like the conflict of interest law. So it could be one of those things
Sure.
where it's very, very stretched, the definition of employee, but it's just enough to where we have to, make the
Okay.
non-discrimination related
I thought it was a good discussion.
remarks. So
point.
that'll be something, I'll check in on that as well.
So the
with Callie.
basic point to that being,
See if it
as a
applies.
volunteer, you are considered an employee of the town,
Mhm.
compensated or non-compensated. If you are honorable, you are in that light of
Yep.
representing the town.
So
Okay.
everyone who's a volunteer or employed by the town is a municipal employee.
Correct, compensated or non-compensated.
Everyone.
Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
been
Yeah.
an ongoing understanding of when you're on a board, you are an employee of the town. You represent the town.
So I wonder how come some people have been told they're not a municipal employee.
Some people listen to all kinds of different things that they shouldn't.
Okay, the Corey one.
So you're
Anything
just
else you
gonna
wanna point
double,
out?
The emergency information page is standard. I think that's good to have. Volunteer consent and release seems fairly standard as well. Important to have for the town's liability and insurance related costs. So that's on the project volunteer packet. I didn't have anything other than that. And as for both of them in general, and we've looked at this one, I think overall both are really great, and something to adopt moving forward.
I agree, so,
But I'll digress there. And,
so she had put this, which is great, Human Resources has put this together,
Mhm.
but it's not in use now.
Correct. There are other
'Cause I've
miscellaneous
signed some of
documents.
your forms.
Right, but it's not this, and
Yeah,
before
none
the
of this
feedback
is in-
came in from Callie, I wasn't really aware, I didn't think about the implications of, could the clerk's office be implementing this as a standard way, and having the HR information that's important, like the emergency contacts, and
Mhm.
perhaps if there's Corey applicable positions, routing that properly. So these are a really good
so we really
feedback.
got a lot more in depth. People on a volunteer basis, for whatever commission they come on, for information from these people. I mean, opposed to when I volunteered last time, it was very simple, straightforward.
Mhm.
Did we need this much more?
Well, and is that just on the project volunteer form? Well, I think some of it, it's, I think it's a little bit more paper than is really, like, because we've got two different versions of the Corey form in here that are
Mhm.
several pages, so it's really only 4 pages of actual information that's being collected for the average applicant. I think it's reasonable, and it also depends. If it's a one-day project, go and fix such and such, maybe it wouldn't make sense. But if it's an ongoing project that might take a month or two to get done, maybe having that emergency information collected and items like that would be important if there were something that were to go awry.
I'm just trying to think of what we've ever done that was one day.
Well, I don't think there's really one day things, but if there were an instance like that where, okay, the goal, the project today, maybe it's, town trash, like, beautification, like cleanup day. I forget the
Yeah, but
official name
nobody
for it.
signs that. I know
Well,
what you
right,
mean.
and that's the thing where
Earth Day,
it wouldn't
once
make
a year,
sense to
they
do.
clean up, the
Yeah.
sidewalks. Nobody's ever signed a form for that.
Right, and I think that makes sense to keep it that way. So this form would make sense for the somewhat larger projects than that is where I'm thinking it comes in.
Okay, difference.
Yeah.
People who go out and do the trash day, or people who go out and help on the rail trail.
Mhm.
This is all like for Townsend, and you're in Townsend, they don't sign up, and
Right,
they don't get appointed.
right,
I think what we're looking at here is
appointed,
you're appointed.
yeah,
You're either appointed or elected to the forms that we're looking at.
yeah,
Correct.
And because of that, I think,
Mhm.
because part of it is, think of all the information you give out when you register to vote.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, so kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna be giving them that same information, even if somebody's doing a mail-in ballot, you still have a relative is listed
Mhm.
on there, or
Well,
a different address, something.
if it's an assisting person, if you've designated an assisting person as you're allowed to, let's say, you can't write as good, you can designate someone to help and they have to sign, there's a section for that.
Yeah.
But it's a form to fill out
Okay.
effectively, but for a restricted purpose, if they're helping assist someone fill out their ballot.
Personally, I think if there's gonna be an appointment,
Yeah, the
or
select
an
board,
elected,
the appointing authority needs to know who you are.
yeah, and I think all of this
The
is
appointing
appropriate.
authority needs to know who you are. Of course they need to know.
So
who
that
you are.
this, I think, gets the
And I
relevant
assume we'll
details.
circle around again to meaning they need to know who you are.
And actually, I think this kind of spells everything out,
Mhm.
so.
It makes it easy to digest.
Yeah, and you actually, as the applicant,
Mhm.
know now what they know about you, and you have an idea of, what you're giving for background,
Mhm.
and what your interests are.
Now, before this is approved, does this go to all the other boards for a look over?
We could send it out for that
Will
round of
conservation
feedback.
ever look, will all the other boards, planning, et cetera, be able to cruise through this so they have
I'm
an
good with getting
understanding
feedback.
Yeah.
of the depth? I'm just hoping we don't scare somebody away when they look at something
Yeah.
for a non-elected, non-compensated volunteer basis, that they're gonna be
Mhm.
quarry checked. I mean, are we gonna
Well, I
print
don't-
them?
I
Are we
don't
gonna
know
take
if it's-
pictures of them and
Well,
put it in a file?
Well, the
I'm
quarry
saying
is,
you have a lot of information that's being requested for a volunteer position.
I mean, I don't know that it's atypical though, and I think there are a lot of towns that collect more than that. And so it might be something we could do a comparison and take a look at some of the towns
It would
around
be good
us.
to know
Yeah.
how, how deep another town may go in the regards of looking at somebody as a simple couple hours a month volunteer status. I say it different if they're making money, they're employed. Yeah, go through the quarry check. Are they gonna be driving, let's check their DOT. I get that. I'm just wondering, I'm just saying, are we overdoing the information request for something as simple as a volunteer status?
It's possible, and I think if we move into this next packet, there's more information in this one. And so this is the actual official board and committee member one, compared to.
Are we all done with this?
Yeah,
I think we're good on the
this is good, and
project
I'm
one.
good with feedback on it.
Yeah,
I am strongly in favor of anyone who's being employed to have a quarry check done, anyone.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
in particular, anyone that is doing anything with children.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, so in this packet, we've got the checklist of everything involved that has some of the similar things.
EEO on the top, so it
Yeah, we
stays
kind of touched
similar.
on that.
Yep.
Now this, I'm noticing, this is the first time I'm taking a real close look at this with you guys. And the volunteer response form here is different from the other one that was in use prior to the one that we
Yeah.
formulated. So I don't know if looking at this, if there's anything in particular that from this that we want to use as for our form, but I mean, I'm happy with the form as we have it now, but I don't know if there's anything in particular.
Do we have a copy of the old one here? We don't.
Do you have a copy?
Well, this backside is very similar to the one we have now, and
Mhm.
that's not what we discussed. We discussed having elected versus appointed positions.
Yeah.
Let me see if there's one out here,
Right,
because
that was,
I thought we were gonna have the backside ready today,
I see.
so I don't think they printed. They were holding off using the new form.
I see.
so this is not obviously the updated. This is the same thing we looked
Well,
at
this is-
last time.
This
right?
is even
the
further
old-
back. Well, for that backside, I think this is the same,
Correct.
but the front side is different from what we had even before that.
Yes,
So this is a different version.
okay.
It's not out there.
They've not printed it out, the only thing they have out there is the old reappointment form,
Okay,
I see.
not
Alright.
even a volunteer form.
okay, we can move, I'm sorry.
So I did tell them,
Mhm.
because I thought we were doing it, that we would have the backside ready today.
So this will update on this.
So we
one
would
point
update
time.
in the new form into
good.
the packet like this.
Understood.
The volunteer consent and release, I think it's the same one from the other packet. Emergency information, the same. Then the thing that's different about this packet, and I think it's a positive difference, is the inclusion of the policies that are most immediately relevant and applicable to most board and committee members. So we have, a remote participation
Oh,
policy
yeah.
and an acknowledgement of receipt form. We have the policy for meeting decorum. This one that's in here, the 2021 version, I believe has been superseded. So we could, I actually just recently got the update from Sabrina for that one, so we could plug that in here.
Go back when you say decorum, meeting decorum,
Yeah,
meaning there's some particular guidelines that
correct. And there was
etiquette and
Yeah.
professionalism,
And-
et cetera.
right, and there was a Supreme Judicial Court decision, I want to say like 2023, which is why this was revised.
Updated.
And so we have that updated version that we'll be able to plug in here.
Well, this one is February of 24. So
Um,
it should be updated anyway,
Which one is that?
the remote participation and,
Oh, is there a new remote participation as well?
well, it's signed February 6, 2024. And it
Well,
does
I don't know if
say
that one's
first policy, and it replaces policy of 2012.
Yeah, but I don't know if we have a new remote participation policy. I know we have a new one for the decorum. But actually, there might need to be
624,
this-
First reading.
this remote participation policy, though, refers to the policy from 2021 regarding meeting decorum that might have a different policy number
Oh, you're
now.
right.
So I'll check into that and talk to Sabrina and figure out where we should go from that. And that,
What do you mean a
Sabrina
different
brings it.
policy number, which would be where?
So right now it's policy under bullet point 6 on the back. Policy number 01-2021, the revised one that after the SJC decision came out,
Okay,
that might have a different number.
so we were
I'm-
mandated to
Yeah, there was
bring it
part
up
of
to
it,
speed.
part of what was in the old policy was unconstitutional is what got ruled. So,
Okay,
there was a revision made. I just don't know if they
so if there
kept
was
it
a
with the same
revision
number.
made, we have it, it's current and
Yeah,
it'll be up. Okay.
Yeah, so if it's updated, it should be in here.
yeah, so we'll work on that.
Mhm.
We've got summary of the conflict of interest law. I think there are pros and cons to having it included in paper. That way we know for sure they got it. I think though it may confuse someone, because they have to do it digitally. The paper,
Online.
yeah, the paper copy and even signing the acknowledgement at the back doesn't meet the requirement of the law.
Doesn't cut it.
It has to
Okay.
be through the training program from the
Yeah.
state. So there are pros and cons. We could maybe word it differently and take out the receipt. Hey, look, here's a copy of it, and also make sure you go online.
So in other words, there's the checks and balance concept.
Yeah.
When you're finished,
Mhm.
they'll check you off
Mhm.
and back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah.
No, you
Okay.
get a certificate.
Yeah. You can print out off
You
the
print out your
website.
certificate, and I forward it to the town clerk's office, and
I gotta get
Whoever
my
my chair
certificate
is.
in, cause it's been,
Well, now
Some years.
we get it automatically. So even that, the state sends it
oh,
to
you
us.
get it
Yeah,
automatically?
that's
Right.
part of the brand new program. It didn't used to do that before. So that's a nice new thing to make it easier for you and your fellow board and committee members.
right, and
Make it
it
easier.
secures a little bit more efficiency in the big picture.
Right. And
You know,
it
if
keeps
it's
it
done-
tracked, so it doesn't get lost. It's in and it's either there or it's not.
Right.
Harassment policy, I think that's perfectly good. I think it's the most recent one.
2016?
Yeah, but I'm
Why
not
did
100% certain.
Revamp our harassment policy.
I
recently.
think it's only been revamped when the state did,
Yeah,
or the Mass
Right,
General
when
Law
they
came
say
out with something.
we have to, right.
yeah.
right,
So
right.
I don't think we have a newer version than this. I haven't heard anything since 2022 on that. Then the notice of open meeting law training, I think this is helpful, and the educational materials that are available and linked are also helpful. The acknowledgement of receipt form that's here, I'm gonna double check. I'm not sure if we're required to use the Attorney General's form. I know they like to require that for other things, particularly related to open meeting law. So I'll double check on whether this acknowledgement of receipt form meets what the state requires us to use for that. But if not, this form looks better than the one the AG issues. So it may be worth keeping, and it has like method of receipt, whether they got it digitally or on paper. So I think there's value in using this form over the AG's one, but that's if they allow that. So I'll check into that.
But
Okay,
there's an receipt.
so anything that we see in this packet going forward will be updated with today's,
Well, so I'll update it with
letterhead, Board of
today's.
Selectmen.
And I guess the other question was,
There's a lot to this. We're not making a decision on changes on this right tonight.
no, I don't think I think I would bring back revised drafts for us to talk about. But
Okay.
the other thing is
Please.
We have
also,
these to compare.
you know,
Yeah, let's take a little time to look at,
question-
absorb.
yeah, and the
What-
question was, since we hadn't looked at these prior to today, you know, do we want to head down the path of using these? I personally say yes, you know, and we can continue to make the revisions to bring forward. I think that, you know, there are questions, should there be other policies included? Should there be less policies included or swapped out for more relevant policies? You know, do we want to have the EEO logo on there? So there are little things that can be done. It also may make sense to include the board and committee handbook as a part of this packet, because right now that's a separate packet that gets handed out when they're sworn in. Maybe that should be one of the enclosures.
When you say sworn in, as an employee or a volunteer?
As a general matter, employees aren't sworn in. Employees, only certain officers, so the assistant town accountant, town accountant, town administrator, and then elected police chief, police and fire officials are all sworn in.
Correct.
So but generally speaking, you know, your department assistant or whoever, your general staff are not sworn in.
Right.
Like,
and so
those who
we're
work at the
only doing
recycling center.
volunteers. We're doing
Yep.
elected and appointed volunteers.
Want to
That's-
circle around to that,
that's
so
the
we keep, make sure we
BVCC.
differentiate, keep it separate.
Yeah,
And once again, I don't want to interrupt.
staff is different.
We seem to do it a lot, but it's effective and it's helpful. What do other towns, what does their format look like? What
Yeah, so I'll research that and I'll
That
find those
helps.
examples and bring that to our next meeting for you guys to see.
Okay. Because we looked at how Pepper puts a notice of intention with conservation together. It's opposed to how ours is in verbiage and structure, et cetera, et cetera. It's so much more applicant friendly. It's
Yeah.
more understandable. It leads you through it in a prudent manner. And it is such a difference in what we're looking at and what they present. Because I'll tell you what, and I'll say it again, if you go in for that particular application, notice of intention, you have to have a strong field to what you're looking at, answer these questions and understand them properly. It's really difficult. That's why we have a land agent, that's why we have et cetera, but.
That's why we have staff. So
Yeah.
I like the fact that we actually had a professional do these for the town. I would not want to waste that time or
agree.
effort.
Yeah.
And
You just make some
I want it to stay
additions and minor
professional.
changes. Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you're gonna compare other
Callie comes from a
towns,
strong
yeah, very
Right.
strong
I
background.
mean, so that's proof in
And
the
paid
pudding
for.
with what
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
So when you compare, I would like an apple to an apple, not a town that did it themselves, but that actually had it done professionally.
Well, my intent was going to be to look at our immediate neighbors and see what they have. And
If they didn't have a human resource person do it, it's gonna be an apple and an orange.
well, I think there's still value in seeing what they did.
Okay.
It may reinforce that this is the best, possible thing that we can use, and it will be great moving forward. I think we're going to find a lot of oranges. This may be the orange in the sea of apples, because other towns may just have a simple form. They may not have, a form at all. So this may be, a path forward a lot better than what other towns are doing in this particular area.
Or
So
help other towns as well.
perhaps, and so that's where, certainly, if I haven't looked at the ones around us, there may be other good examples that have been done by the HR offices of those towns, but I'm not certain that that's the average, across the state.
A brief overview of how another town works out these issues, et cetera, is, I think it's enlightening at best.
All right, so
Very good.
if we're good with that,
Yeah, so I've got some homework to
Callie's
bring back
done
to
a
you guys.
phenomenal job on these.
yeah. So
mean-
4C, discussion of ethics training enforcement, you wanted,
Yeah, so I have some items regarding this, and I'll jump ahead if we turn, I think it's a couple of pages in on the packet that we received, or the request for information. Might be, it's kind of in the middle. It's the one from Veronica that is requesting that the question of ethics monitoring be addressed by the VBCC. And so that's the reason. VBCC, and that's that dated October 15th. And
yeah, I did see all the feedback you got.
Yeah, and so
Can I get some? What was some of the feedback? I didn't
It's-
get.
it's the packet.
The
I don't know
last
if it's
packet.
underneath. It might,
Okay.
it's the small, it might be under your,
This one,
All right, I'll get to it. Don't worry.
is it
oh, it
underneath?
says Outlook at the top. You have it, because we all got the same stuff.
Yeah.
No?
No.
Huh.
These are the minutes.
Did it get underneath?
No, this is my other stuff.
No.
I don't think-
Volunteer document training, no?
Oh, you've got it right there.
All right.
That's it.
And then it's a few pages in, it's the one from Veronica.
Okay.
But basically, she asked that we talk about what's being done, and the real call of the question here is, who is the responsible individual for this monitoring? And the short answer is that the state law really doesn't address this.
Oh,
It's at large, individuals are responsible for knowing what the legal requirements are of them. This is accomplished right now by the clerk's office handing that out when they first get sworn in, and every subsequent
So their
swearing in.
responsibility at that point in time ends, it goes to the volunteer.
It does,
Follow
and that-
through with what
but even then, that's just a courtesy. There's no requirement in the law that it be issued in a particular manner, and
I
so
agree.
there is a more active role that we can play here. And as the access administrator, that's what they call the person in the town who controls the ethics portal for all of our town users.
Okay,
I have access to see who has completed the training, who hasn't,
Okay.
because that's where I'm supposed to be the one that's filed with, so I am able to see that. And I can see, number one, we have a lot of people who just aren't signed up in the portal at all.
I think I'm one of them, for sure, because I did it.
No, so
Does that still count?
no, so this portal came out in 2023.
Yeah.
So I
it didn't
actually,
exist.
so I actually,
So,
not to
okay,
put you on the spot, I know in particular actually that you're not in the system.
right,
So-
like I said, I'm
Right.
very back in the world with the computers and
Right,
getting on them and functioning with them.
Right, so
mean,
I
pardon
understand.
me, and I'm all
You're not
about
the
it.
only one. You're one
I'll
of
get
very
up.
many.
But you've allowed
Right.
others to come into the town clerk's office and you get them set up so
So,
that they can go in.
That's part of the plan, and so part of, and I'll get there in one moment, what I'm intending to do is to send out a general notice to everyone in
Get
town.
everybody up to speed.
And both by mail and by email, because I know there are many who don't check the email on a regular basis, so we'll be sending that out by mail and by email as a general reminder, hey, there's this requirement, here's the list, check if you're on the list or check if you're not. And if you're not, then come talk to us either, because sometimes we have folks who work from many towns and they just need to go in the portal and select Townsend as an additional town. And this new system makes it very easy to do that. And then
Because
the
they're
problem
gonna
is
get,
solved.
you're gonna
Well,
be
when
able to
you
get
say
the
work-
feedback.
Well, they may be on a board for Townsend and physically work for a state agency. We
Oh,
see
I
that a
know.
lot.
I went
So
into that with them.
they're an employee for the purpose of the conflict of interest laws,
Yeah.
is what I mean. But, you know, I have like Neshoba Tech and I have the town of Townsend as two in the portal so that way they can see that I've completed it for their requirements and Townsend can see that I've completed it for my requirements.
So it's
over
gonna
here.
be a good tool for you for checks and
Right,
balances.
and so
From all
the reminder will be, hey, you really need to sign up for this portal,
Mhm.
and all of these other aspects of that. So I'm holding off on sending that letter. It'll ideally be sometime end of the week or beginning of next, right
Sending the
now-
letter to who?
to all the board and committee and employees.
Everyone.
Employees, it'll go to their
Top
work
to bottom.
emails, right, but
Okay.
everyone, if you're considered an employee under the conflict of
Gotcha.
interest law.
Yeah,
And so that'll be going out soon. What we're waiting for right now is to have that kiosk so people can come into the clerk's office. We're waiting on Guardian, the IT vendor, to set that up. That should be happening imminently. I know they have the computer and we're working on setting up the software so people will be able to come
so
into the
you can see
office.
Sabrina, you, Dave.
Right, so there will be a number of options, and if they're comfortable enough with technology and just don't have the physical laptop, they can also go to the library. But there's gonna be a list of options, and I wanna make sure included on that list is, you
Given
can
that
come to the
we
clerk's
have
office, we can basically set it up for you, so all you have to do is put on the headphones and watch for an hour,
Give them
and you'll
every
be taken
avenue.
care of. Right,
Some-
we wanna make it as easy as
people do.
possible. And the other
Yes.
benefit of coming into the clerk's office to do it, if you need your password reset or you're having technical difficulties, we can help right there, where I'm not sure, you know, if Sabrina's doing other things or if the library staff aren't available right away.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if they're typically in the habit of doing IT assistance for that, but the clerk's office, we are in that ethics portal all the time.
Okay.
We can provide that assistance on the spot and make sure that that's able to be accomplished. So that's basically the plan moving forward. But the other thing that letter will make clear is that is a courtesy, and that, you know, again, the state law doesn't require that. So it'll remind, and there are many new folks in town as well who are on boards and committees who may not have been aware of that. So there will be work done to make sure that everyone is adequately educated about this moving forward, and that.
So if the state law
Mhm.
doesn't require
It would be a courtesy to enable better compliance, because right now, on an average basis, I mean, we have, of the people signed up in the system, very many are out of date, and there are very, very many employees for the purpose of the conflict of interest law who are just not in the system at all.
so
And
I
so
thought
we
you
have
couldn't
a
serve unless you did it.
That's correct. Those individuals are currently not in compliance with the conflict of interest law.
So is that the only thing they're not in compliance with? So they're,
Well, the training
Votes on it.
requirements, well, no, those votes are undertaken in good faith, so their votes wouldn't be undone. There's legal theories. Adam has talked to me at great length about this because there was, anyway, the votes wouldn't be undone, but they need to comply with the conflict of interest law is the point.
But there's no penalty for that.
Well, the ethics commission could come in and issue fines. They could against anyone who hasn't done their training requirements.
Oh, okay.
So no,
So
that's
there's
the
There's
last,
individual personal legal
I always thought I
liability.
had to do it. I always thought I had to do it. I never thought I wouldn't do it.
Right, well, and
You know?
I think you are
I
up to date.
actually
So
always
it's-
thought
Oh, I
once you
am.
did
yeah,
it,
I think, yeah, so,
once you did it, the first time, X money, I didn't know it was something.
Every 2 years.
right, and so that's something this reminder will help make
Yeah.
sure, because I know right now the ethics commission isn't currently pulling the list from every town and just going and issuing
Well,
fines.
they're probably busy with
But-
other things.
Right, so
You think?
that's,
Right?
so that's where, the hope is that, if I send that reminder out, folks can sign up and do the training, then they won't have to worry about
Yeah.
it. The ethics will say, all right, you solved the problem, no fine. And so the hope is to prevent that
Okay.
as a part of that courtesy notice, but I'll digress on that. I know we're approaching
Yeah, we are.
4:46.
And
Do we want to dig further into the responses or I don't think that we really have a ton of time, but.
No, I'm good.
I read them and I thought, that they each had a valid point.
Yeah, and
And then
I'll
I have no
aggregate that
problem
into a nice
addressing them.
list. Yeah. So,
now these, are you referring to
That we
the,
can
yeah,
address,
yeah.
okay? I
right,
understand
there are
their
some that may
wishes.
not, right.
Yeah.
now Kobe has one in for Concom, DEP wetland
Yeah, that was
protection.
one of the ones that I thought, I don't know, I mean,
Yeah, so there are resources and so because this is for the aggregation of the training materials. So this is
right,
the links that we have, those will all be aggregated into what will be helpful for new.
and that was gonna be my comment,
Yeah,
that they all be put in one list of links.
right.
and
Okay, so
given
that's the
to-
plan with this. So this is
Yeah.
the raw feedback and then it'll be made into a digestible format. Because obviously, we're not going to hand this packet to volunteers.
Okay,
No,
so what I would like to discuss is our next meeting.
what
Yeah.
would that be called? A little overwhelming?
Yeah,
We can,
Truly.
sorry
Yep.
to interrupt, you, but we can start wrapping it up.
yep.
Yes, I just need our next meeting, and we're done, calling for adjournment, okay?
Thanks.
So what works for you? I would prefer if we could do at least a week out, so that way there's some time, because some of this will take some time to get together.
I was thinking of
even-
Friday, but if that's too soon,
This Friday, I would say would probably be too soon, but
Yes.
perhaps maybe Friday the 31st. I don't know if Halloween works for you guys.
I'm not doing anything.
All right, me
I'm
neither.
not, we haven't had a trick or treater in over 40 years.
Me neither.
I feel
Yeah.
bad about it, but it
Yeah.
is just my
It's at my
house, and
office,
you
I
know
put
how
it
kids
back
are.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're, okay, 31st.
What time do we want to do? 'Cause
Later
I'm
the
wide
better,
open.
5,
because I have an earlier,
6,
could you?
okay. Pretty soon it's gonna get really dark at 5,
I remember what happened last year.
okay, so.
All right, so
I'm
6
okay with
to
6.
8-ish.
Oh, okay.
Let's see here.
You said the 31st at 6?
Mm-hmm. I'll leave Sherry home for the trick or treater. No, I'm not gonna get one.
6.
All right.
Okay, it's in my calendar and we will have more time
Yep.
on that evening, okay? Prepare for 2 hours anyway.
Yeah.
So that we can wrap up,
All right.
Right.
at the very least, the volunteer forum. I'll
Yeah.
entertain a motion to adjourn
So move.
at 4:49 PM.
I'll say Harrison Mayotte so moved at 4:49.
James Brown second.
Is there any discussion?
I'm good.
Hearing none, roll call vote to adjourn.
Harrison Mayotte, aye.
James Duroy, yes.
Laura Schifrin, aye. Thank you all very much.